Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither were the walls of Jerusalem. We've read about how Nehemiah came, counted the cost, rallied the people, and started the work. We've learned that one family worked next to another family, who worked next to another family to rebuild the walls of God's city, Jerusalem. Everything was going really well. The walls were starting to come together. I don't know if you've noticed this or experienced this, but sometimes when things go well for you, some people aren't happy. Some people don't want things to go well for you. For Nehemiah, those people were Sanballat and Tobiah. Sanballat and Tobiah were leaders of local tribes that neighbored Jerusalem. And they knew that the stronger Jerusalem was, the weaker their own kingdoms would be. So they plotted against Nehemiah. The first thing they did is they came to Nehemiah and said, "Oh, Nehemiah, the king's going to be so mad at you. You don't have permission to do this." Well, guess what? Nehemiah had permission. Nehemiah had talked to the king, and the king was even helping him. So Sanballat and Tobiah's first attempts to come against Nehemiah didn't work. So they had to go back and think of another way to attack. And the building just continued. So Sanballat and Tobiah come back. Do people ever say bad things about what you are doing? I wonder if anyone ever told you you weren't good at something. Sanballat and Tobiah were like this. Sanballat and Tobiah said, "Those walls that you are building, if a little bitty fox walked across them, they would come tumbling down." Nehemiah just shook his head. Nehemiah knew that the work they were doing was good. Nehemiah had confidence that God was helping them and that the people who were faithfully working were doing their job well. Oh, Sanballat and Tobiah didn't know what to do. They tried to convince Nehemiah that he wasn't allowed to do this, but he was. They tried to convince Nehemiah that he wasn't good at this, but he was. So what was left? This time, Sanballat and Tobiah didn't come and say anything to Nehemiah, but they started rumors. They started rumors that they were going to attack. They started rumors that they were going to bring armies against Nehemiah and the Israelites. People started to get scared. The rumors made their way into the town, and one family heard about it, and they told another family, and they told another family, and they told another family. The people were scared of what might happen if Sanballat and Tobiah were to attack. Nehemiah had some more work to do. So Nehemiah again called the people together, and the families came to listen to Nehemiah. Have you ever played a sport? Have you ever coached a sport? Have you ever given or heard a halftime speech? Nehemiah gave the best halftime speech I have ever heard. Listen to these words from Nehemiah chapter 4. Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers, your sons and your daughters, your wives and your homes. When the enemies heard what Nehemiah has said, when the enemy saw the confidence that the people had, when the enemy realized the truth of what Nehemiah was preaching, our God will fight for us, they turned away. And the people went back to their work. Now, some people would stand watch while others would work, but they worked with the confidence that God was fighting for them. They worked with the confidence that with God they would prevail. I wonder if you believe that. Do you believe that he who is in you is greater than he who is in the world? He is.